On June 12, 2025, India witnessed one of its darkest days in aviation history. Air India Flight AI-2171, a Boeing 787 was on a routine international journey from Ahmedabad to London. But just minutes after takeoff, the flight met with a tragic fate that left the entire nation in shock. What went wrong? How could such a modern aircraft face such a sudden disaster? And what are authorities doing now to find answers? In this video, we'll walk you through the full timeline of events, the facts we know so far, and the emotional response from around the world. Let's start with the beginning. Flight AI-171 was scheduled to depart from Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport in Ahmedabad and head toward London Gatwick Airport in the United Kingdom. The aircraft, a Boeing 787-8, is considered one of the most advanced and reliable aircraft in the skies today. On board were 242 individuals, including 230 passengers and 12 crew members. Among them were students, families, business travelers, and tourists, each carrying hopes and dreams, unaware of what lay ahead. The manifest reveals a diverse group hailing from various countries. There were citizens of India, the UK, Australia, Canada, the USA, Germany, Belgium, Kenya, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. At approximately 1:38 p.m. IST, the plane took off from Ahmedabad under normal weather conditions. All seemed fine until approximately 1:42 p.m. when air traffic control noticed unusual behavior in the flight's trajectory. According to initial reports, the pilots had requested a climb from 25,000 feet to 37,000 feet. But instead of following the expected path, the aircraft began a descent, dropping at a rate of approximately 3,000 feet per minute. Eyewitnesses near the airport reported hearing strange engine noises shortly before the incident. Some people posted videos online capturing the sounds, which have since gone viral. In addition to the harrowing noise, eyewitnesses described a scene that defied expectations. They saw the plane descend lower than usual, indicating something was amiss. The situation took a terrifying turn when the plane nose dived and crashed into a residential area near BJ Medical College in the Magani Nagar locality. The impact was devastating. The aircraft struck part of a residential building, leading to an intense fire. Within seconds, emergency services received numerous distress calls, reporting the accident and a fire at the site. Within minutes, fire brigades, ambulances, police units, and disaster response teams arrived at the scene. The first responders faced a daunting challenge. The crashed plane was engulfed in flames, and the site was quickly becoming a scene of chaos and panic. Rescue operations commenced immediately, but the intense heat and structural damage hampered the initial efforts. As the emergency services worked tirelessly to gain access to the wreckage, hopes for survivors began to dwindle. Despite the grim situation, the rescue workers were determined to leave no stone unturned. They worked in shifts through the night, ensuring that every part of the debris was examined meticulously. One passenger was miraculously pulled from the wreckage alive, a British national who is currently receiving medical care. Local hospitals were put on high alert, and many nearby residents were treated for smoke inhalation or minor injuries sustained during the evacuation. Many volunteers turned up at the hospitals offering to donate blood. The accident site was a scene of immense devastation. The plane's impact had caused significant damage to nearby buildings, forcing evacuations and raising concerns about structural integrity. Amidst the destruction, the spirit of community shone through as neighbors helped each other and local businesses provided refreshments to the emergency workers. Authorities set up a triage center near the crash site to assess the medical needs of those affected. Doctors and medical staff worked tirelessly to treat the injured and provide necessary care. The tragedy not only impacted those directly involved, but also the first responders and the medical community who grappled with the emotional toll of dealing with such a large-scale disaster. In the wake of the tragedy, questions arose regarding the safety measures in place at the airport. Officials are examining whether the aircraft was within designated airspace, and if there were any potential air traffic control issues that may have contributed to the accident. Additionally, investigations will focus on evaluating the effectiveness of emergency response plans and protocols to ensure that lessons are learned and improvements are made to enhance aviation safety. The Indian government has announced the formation of a committee to oversee the investigation. The committee will comprise experts from various fields who will work diligently to determine the cause of the accident and make recommendations for future actions. Their findings will be crucial in understanding the factors that led to the crash and will serve as the basis for implementing necessary changes. As the investigation unfolds, authorities are urging the public to refrain from speculation and to rely on official updates. The priority at this moment remains on providing support to the victims, their families, and the affected communities. But how did this accident happen? It is too early to definitively answer how the Air India Express flight ended up crashing into a residential area. However, experts have highlighted a few areas that will likely be pivotal in determining the cause. The most immediate concern is the possibility of a bird strike damaging the engine. Bird strikes can occur when large flocks of birds enter a plane's path, especially during takeoff or landing. This event can disrupt the airflow and cause substantial damage to the engines, potentially leading to a loss of power. However, it's important to note that modern aircraft are designed to withstand bird strikes and continue safely. Another potential issue lies in the malfunction of flaps, essential for lift and maneuverability during critical phases of flight like takeoff and landing. If the flaps were not functioning correctly, it could have impacted the plane's ability to gain altitude and subsequently led to a stall. Stalls happen when a plane loses lift and begins to fall rapidly. An Air India spokesperson mentioned the possibility of wind shear playing a role in the crash. Wind shear is a sudden change in wind speed and direction, which can be particularly dangerous during takeoff and landing. Extreme wind shear can literally push a plane back down to the ground. While these possibilities are being looked into, it's equally important to consider the human element, including the pilot's actions and the efficiency of the maintenance checks. What happens next? As the nation mourns the loss of innocent lives, the immediate focus is on providing support to the affected families. Financial aid and assistance are being extended to help them cope with the tragedy. For instance, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced an ex gratia payment of 10 lakh rupees for the next of kin of those who lost their lives in the accident. Additionally, injured passengers are receiving medical care with the government bearing all the expenses. Beyond financial aid, the government is committed to ensuring that the families receive proper counseling and support to deal with the trauma of this event. Hotlines have been set up to provide immediate assistance, and dedicated teams are reaching out to the bereaved families, offering their condolences and necessary help. As the country comes to terms with this tragedy, questions arise about the steps being taken to prevent such incidents in the future. Authorities are reevaluating safety protocols and examining existing regulations to identify any potential gaps or weaknesses. One immediate action involves the grounding of similar aircraft temporarily. This precautionary measure allows for thorough inspections to identify any potential issues that might affect safety. Aviation authorities are also focusing on enhancing communication and coordination among various agencies involved in air travel. Effective communication is crucial in preventing and responding to emergencies, and steps are being taken to ensure that all parties involved can share information seamlessly. Moreover, ongoing training and education programs are being emphasized for aviation personnel. Regular training helps to keep pilots, air traffic controllers, and other aviation professionals prepared to handle emergencies effectively. It's a continuous process to improve response times and safety measures. The tragic accident involving Air India Express Flight 171 serves as a somber reminder of the importance of aviation safety. The coming days will be filled with difficult decisions, painful goodbyes, and the start of a long journey towards justice for the victims and their families.